Poddit. Have you heard of Poddit?
No, I haven't.
So Poddit is used to allow you or help you with finding guests for your podcast. Here's the article from PR Week. Poddit had a Facebook group, they've supposedly, I think they had about 6,500 members, which is nothing to sneeze at. It was only founded Q1 last year, so they really ramped it up. They had a website. We've found guests. I've been invited to be guests on different podcasts thanks to Poddit, but it's recently been acquired by Podmatch. And this I wanted to talk about, not so much because it's an acquisition of another company, but I think it raises interesting sort of questions about podcasting. And podcasting sort of has been around for a little while. It's, I would say, over the last few years, it's in the mainstream, and now we're starting to see a bit of consolidation of companies that provide podcasting or podcasting affiliated
especially from
services.
The pandemic, I'd say that's like sped up absolutely people listening to podcasts. And I mean, for me, I got so on board with podcasts during the first sort of wave or two. So
yeah, I mean,
definitely room there.
Well, this is a company called Poddit, just was started up as the pandemic was starting up. So
good time.
and then to be great time, and then to be sold is obviously just shows how big podcasting has become. But I just wanted to bring it up and sort of put it out there. I thought that Poddit, the team behind Poddit, did a really fantastic job. Brent, who's the founder, they were sort of changing and optimizing the app very regularly. I do wonder though, as the pandemic's become just part of life, whether people are listening to podcasts as much, and whether they're exiting just as a lot of these other companies start to exit. There have been a lot of high-ticket purchases and acquisitions of podcasting-related services like Spotify buying Anchor and so on and so forth. And that was in the middle of the pandemic. Not that we're out of it yet, but would you agree, Kelsey, that we've sort of that buzz around podcasting has waned off a little bit since peak pandemic?
I actually think I disagree. I would say that I think there was probably a bit of a spike during the pandemic where people really got on board with podcasts and went, hey, this is cool. I've never really looked at this, because they got bored of, watching Netflix or whatever. And I think now people would likely be, looking for podcasts on their drive to work, or, where they would previously just put on the radio or put on a playlist. They're probably now more turning to podcasts. I know I do that a bit, and I'm pretty sure you do it more in the form of YouTube videos, but same sort of concept where you're wanting to actually listen and take in a lot of things. And I think I've talked to a few friends about this actually, and they've all sort of said the same thing, where they'll listen to the podcast on their lunch break or on the way to work or sitting on the train, because you might have, an hour to kill or something. Obviously this is Melbourne or Sydney or wherever you are, but yeah,
right. So you think
time.
It sped up adoption, and then those individuals who got the habit of listening to podcasts aren't necessarily, losing that habit. They're keeping it.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe it speaks for the consolidation of podcasting more than, the fact that we're going to see more of these different entities merge and become one as podcasting becomes a bit less spiky, a bit less hot, but still very much relevant.
Absolutely, yeah. I think a lot of people are jumping on a bit late with creating podcasts as well. I know that I think I follow a few influencers on Instagram, for example, and some of them have started up podcasts in the last few months, which is probably a bit late to be jumping on it, but, there's still definitely demand, and I think there's still people keen to get involved in that.